able to bring in a lot of the new blood as well, to make the dynamics that you do. So that's
I'll do
just kind of a little cliff note of that.
Cut me off anytime you need, ladies. I'm fine with that.
Well, we are back. So we're back and you're good to go. Go on about your love for your coworkers again. This time they'll hear it.
Okay. So just a quick little recap for you guys and for Stacy's question about the actors and them coming together, our new ones and our old ones. It's just, I sometimes think of like our projects as like a little or big party. And, we think of who we want to come back and be with us and people you can count on and love. And we bring those actors back, like Wes Anderson does. He loves all of, you see his actors over and over and you love being and seeing them in his shows. And we have a partner in LA, Electric Entertainment, and they tell us their favorites and we use them as well.
Who is the biggest troublemaker on set? The good kind of trouble. The good kind of trouble, that is. The kind that makes it a great blooper reel. If you have a good story, that's fine too. But we like to know the good stuff.
I actually have our biggest troublemaker here. So as a surprise guest for all of you, I have...
Making trouble off camera.
Making trouble, Adam Johnson.
Hello.
Hi, Adam.
Hi.
Howdy. Oh, man. Well, I was in the neighborhood, and why not?
He's one of my absolute favorites. Adam and I have been friends for very close to 15 years now.
Wow.
It has been quite a long time.
Done a lot of stuff together. We've seen a lot of things.
A lot of crazy things, yeah.
A lot of dragons.
That is true.
Dragons,
a lot of
orcs,
dragons.
A lot of blood. A lot of...
And shadow sometimes shadow.
That's right.
So thank you so much for dropping in. I almost feel bad that we didn't have like questions prepared, but I guess that's the point of a surprise. So
what? We can do this if you guys want a separate time. We can come back and.
Oh no! Go for it, Stacy. Think on your feet. It's your go.
I'll also come back for you guys as well. So don't feel like you have to be too much on the spot. But
how about we? Okay, so you're our biggest troublemaker. Y'all better tell us a story, and then Stacy can go from there after that.
Well, if you follow Adam's Instagram, if you don't, you really need to. It's at Adam Johnson Time. So we have this rule that it's a very big rule, which is no cell phones on set, and it's actually it's very big and it's very serious. And Adam thinks he's above the law. And
it always means like most people don't have your phone. You got to read into those kinds of things.
So Adam likes to film me specifically at the most inopportune times when I haven't slept and I look like I've been, dragged through the dirt by an orc, and he'll get me and I'm like, Adam, turn your phone off. I'm serious. And he'll be like, what was that? What was that? I'm like, no, seriously, I'm not kidding. You signed an agreement. Do not. And anyway, but yeah, Adam's got a lot of.
I like to push the buttons. I like to push buttons when I see buttons.
He cannot help himself.
I can't help myself.
He's a good time all the time. Hence Adam Johnson Time. But he's one of those guys that I've always been able to count on to come through for me, whatever it is. And so that's a big reason. Also, he's a great comedic actor, and I love working with him. But
thank you, Jennifer.
One of the silly things that Adam does that really drives myself and the wardrobe department crazy is he likes to put cocoa butter on his feet before he puts his shoes on. And and if you've seen our shoes, usually they're boots or medieval shoes, and they're a really big pain to put on. So I always say to the second AD or the costume designer, whomever it is, I'm like, I need those actors on set. Are they on set? Are they on set? Do they have their shoes on? Like, that's always the question, because every actor tries to not put their shoes on. I'm not kidding. Like, Jessica was coming to set with just socks on. Like, it's not, they all do it across the board. But Adam is particularly bad in the fact that you will have asked him 20 minutes ago, Adam, I really have to have you with your shoes on. And then you'll come back to him and he'll be sitting in his chair just like slathering cocoa butter on his feet. And he's like, 1 minute, I just need one more minute.
You make it sound like I'm like the guy in like The Sounds of the Lambs. Like,
I'm like, that damn cocoa butter!
Shoes. Talking to my feet. It puts the lotion on.
It's
maybe it is.
Adam likes to do other things, like put on maybe just a pair of shorts and nothing else and walk around set and see how people will react to him. Like, he does lots of things like that. So
you don't always need all of your clothes. And a lot of times these guys want me to get a full wardrobe way before I need it. Well, on the Outpost, luckily it's been pretty good. Munt just wears a stinky sheet most of the time. So, and it falls off nonstop.
You guys really need to work on a blooper reel. If you haven't thought about it, you really, really should, because it would be gold. It really would.
The audience demands it.
We're gonna have to really focus on that next time we do a project together. But it's Adam is always a good time. So let's make him commit to doing a show for you guys right now. Are you going to do a show for these lovely ladies?
I don't know their schedule. If you have an opening your schedule, we'll work it out.
We'll make it work. Don't worry. Well, before I steal away and hand over to Shay, I do want to ask, since both of you both can answer, what has been your favorite film to make thus far?
Okay. I don't know about Adam, but this was years ago. Obviously, I love all the projects that I make.
That's a tough question.
But I have to say, the most favorite film we've ever done is Orcs. And you can find it on Amazon, I believe.
Amazon Prime. You can stream
Amazon Prime. You can stream Orcs. And it's definitely a B movie. Definitely totally B movie, but like revels unapologetically in the B moviness of comedy and the show itself. It's about park rangers and orcs coming out of a mountain. It was just a good time from start to finish, and we made it really quick one summer. And Adam is the park. He's the lead park ranger in it, and it's just hilarious. It's such a hilarious, funny time. I loved it so much. I look back on it. It was very fun.
I might have to agree. That was a movie we did for nothing, and we all we worked really hard. I remember there's a part I spent a great deal of the film covered in orc blood with a polyester shirt, just covered, and I was just constantly peeling that shirt away from me, just sticking all my chest hair all day long. It was the most uncomfortable thing ever. That was the worst part. But for some reason, that was just really fun. And I remember one time trying to clean off after we got done shooting one day in the mountains, and we didn't have any running water. So I laid on the ground, and they took the cooler that had all the food and all the melted water. And it was cold. It was really cold. And they poured that on me, on my face, and everywhere, just to try to clean off a little bit.
Hey, you do what you got to do, right?
Those are the days.
That's it. Thanks, you guys. That is awesome. I'm going to pass off to Shay so she can hit you guys up with some questions of her own.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thanks, Stacey.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks, Stacey. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Adam.
Hello.
How are y'all today?
We're fantastic.
We're really well.
We'll start it off there. So excited to talk to both of you.
Am I crowding? I don't want to crowd out.
We'll let you let you stay
okay.
for one more
we'll
part.
do one
We'll let
more
you
second.
stay for Shay, and then get out. This is my spotlight.
Then we have like see we also have like towards the end we have audience questions. So
Yes.
you know the audience may want y'all to stick around too.
Okay. Well, I may step. Well, maybe I'll step aside.
And then we'll see.
Yes,
Just wait and
we
see if the
may have to
audience
save we may have to save audience questions for Adam for his feature.
Yeah, let's do that. So you can
That'll
stay
work.
for Shay. Then you're out. I never get
That
the
sounds fair.
spotlight.
We need to let you revel.
So this question is for Jennifer. So
Nah.
knowing you have troublemakers like Adam on set, what is your biggest drive in being a producer? Because I know it's not an easy job. So what makes you just spring out of bed in the morning and decide, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I love.
It's mostly the grip of that whip in your hand. I think
So,
you like the way that feels.
I think that's
The-
the number
putting
one reason.
rocks in the end of the
just
whip.
love it.
Dude.
Get some knots in there,
Yeah.
and I just wait right at the gate. I'm
Lights
ready.
up.
I think I think I love being a producer, probably partially because I'm mentally ill, maybe, I don't know, but I really love the adrenaline of being on set, coming early, getting the day, set and ready to go, and then just dealing with the problems as they come. We liken making a film very much to like an avalanche. You prep for the avalanche to start, but obviously you're never fully prepared for an avalanche. And then once it starts, you're just trying to guide it down the mountain. And so, especially with this show, it's the first time I produced a TV series, and it was a really big avalanche this time. So it's, I think, probably, for as lame as it sounds, it's a giant thrill to me to like get up, and I know that the day is going to have some crazy problems, and I'm going to have to be super creative in how I process those problems, and I'm going to have to think ahead. Like, if I say yes or no to this, what does it mean in tomorrow or in a week or in a month? What does that mean for the show? And really think ahead. And I really thrive on that kind of pressure and stress.
Well, I understand that one. It's kind of best way to compare it is it's customer service in the entertainment industry. So hand in hand with that, what really inspires the content you guys choose to create?
I'd have to say that's really it's very Kynan and Jason based. They grew up loving fantasy books and fantasy movies, and I did as well, but Kynan read Lord of the Rings like 3 times before he was 8 years old. So they both just, it's sort of their lifeblood. And I really love sci-fi, and I grew up watching a lot of sci-fi, and I grew up watching a lot of fantasy as well. I'm actually number 9 of 9 siblings. And so I had a lot of influence from older siblings and what they liked, and them growing up in, the 70s and 80s with them being older and them wanting to see, Labyrinth, and Star Trek, and I've watched all the old Star Treks, and there was just a barrage of that kind of entertainment when I was young. And so it's just something I really kind of miraculously fell into with working with Jason and Kynan, and I feel super fortunate.
Yeah. Is sci-fi your niche? Or, since you have like shows like The Appearance under your belt as well, is it what exactly seals the deal for you saying, I want to work on that project? And do you have a dream project?
We do have a couple of dream projects. And what seals the deal for working on a project is how excited all of us are about it. So all 3 of us need to be very excited about it. So first, Jason and Kynan will be super excited, and then they'll talk to me about it. And then, if I'm like, you guys, I don't know, don't want to make that. That's not something that's speaking to me right now. Then we put it on the back burner. But we have a lot of projects in the wings, and constantly trying to think of new projects. We don't ever have just one going at a time. We try and, really have a lot of ideas waiting and either in hibernation or incubation or whatever it may be, of trying to keep the creative juices flowing in many different aspects. Actually, we've been talking about a sci-fi recently, which I'm very excited about. We haven't made too many sci-fis, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love and adore. I love sci-fi films and books, and also we have this random passion project that has nothing to do with sci-fi or fantasy. It's a project about child soldiers in Africa it got concepted out in 2002. So it's one we've had for quite a long time and have been thinking about, and it's a true story. So yeah, we have a lot of different things, but mainly focus on fantasy and sci-fi because we just love it and can't get away from it. One to dragon, we choose dragon. So
I'm excited to be in the child soldier movie. You care for me?
Now,
jump Adam.
Okay, like I've been completely derailed. No.
Well, I love you guys.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank
So now, God willing, we'll get a season 2, unless you feel like giving away any super secret announcements right now. But even brushing over that, whether the Outpost lives forever or not, sometimes studios even take on multiple projects. You mentioned that you've always got these ideas in the making and stuff. But so like as far as current, sorry, bear with for a second. I'm trying.
Adam's a lot to take. He can derail anything. He
Trying to absorb this. But as you mentioned that you've got a bunch of plans.
I think I've lost your sound.
Muted. Huh.
There we
Sorry. Sorry about that. I got muted. But you've got all of these different plans bouncing around and everything. So, in that, when you're designating an order of operations, is it inspired by I'm not feeling it, I'm feeling it, or is it like what makes it take priority?
So what makes a project take priority?
Mm-hmm.
This will not be an answer that you like, but it's whatever we are able to sell. So there's the business part of it. It's that we have a lot of projects going all at once, and we speak with our distributors and we see which ones they want and which ones they want to distribute or pick up or pay for, and then we run with those because we love all of our projects. And something is, once one gets picked up, you just start really fleshing it out. And when it's when it's in its inception, it either gets the yay or the nay. But we have this list that's probably about 20 plus projects long that we have names for, of like, these are all these things. Do we want to work on any of these? Shall we talk about them a little bit more? And sometimes they get love and sometimes they don't. But we've got a backlog of things that we're always excited to pitch and push for distributors.
Okay. I mean, that's very fair. And completely understandable, knowing how budgets work. But now here's something that I relate to on a personal level. You started in the art department. Was that your original goal, or did you grow past that as an afterthought, or did you just use that to get your feet under you?
I randomly, my sister is a production designer. She graduated from university with her her fine arts degree in scenography, and she in scenic design, and she was working on a project one day, and I was working at a mortgage company, and it's your siblings and your friends who you get your jobs from, right? So I then started in on 10, somewhere around 10 years of working in the art department, and that's how that happened. That I really fell into it through helping her and loving working with her, and I really loved the physicality of it. And it's very exciting to have to create things, and directors ask for things at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning or 6 a.m. and you do your best to accommodate, and there was a lot of that. And then I just there's a season for everything, and then I said to myself, I'm a little tired, and it's time for me to move on. So I transitioned. I was doing art department and producing at the same time, and I've just transitioned into producing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just keep it going. That's the best. That's the best thing I've got to say. It's very inspiring to hear you talk about it too. So for any aspiring filmmakers out there that feel like they've missed their chance by passing film school or something, what kind of advice do you have for them?
I think you don't need to go to film school. I know a lot of people do. I never went to film school. I went to university and did business, a lot of business classes. I actually didn't graduate from college, so there's that for what it's worth. But I was majoring in business, and I think film school is one of those things that's fantastic. It was really great. It's where Jason and Kynan met each other, and they met each other in film school, and that was it. They have been a partnership ever since. So it's great for connections. It's great for learning equipment and doing all those things. But if you've missed that, there's no reason that you can't still have your dreams of making films. The only thing that's holding you back from making a film is you. You just go and you make a film, and you just make it happen time and time and time again. And it's just one of those things that you just don't give up. You just keep pushing, and that's it. Like, we say that to each other all the time. It's like, nope, we're just going to keep pushing. You just keep pushing, and eventually you start hitting your goal markers, and you set bigger goals and longer term goals, and you keep working. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been making films for, my goodness, 16, 17 years now. So that's a good chunk of time. And I think the other really important thing about making film is, if you don't love it, you shouldn't be doing it. It is kind of like a life choice. Like, my life really does revolve around my job, but I love my job. So it's not a stress for me to come to work. I love to come to work. I love to work. And it's not that I'm a workaholic. It's just that I love what I do. And so, it just so happens my hobby is also what I love to do. And it's a hobby I didn't even know I liked. So, it's a wonderful thing. Get yourself some friends and start making movies. And the ones that are great at helping you, keep them. And the ones that aren't, don't be afraid to part ways with. And always do it amicably and happily, and so that everyone's happy. But get the people who are helping you and keep them, and make teams. It's all about getting a team together and keeping your team.
Absolutely. And, one of the biggest inspirational quotes as far as doing things like this is, if you want to do something, you have to learn to jump. And
yeah, for sure.
This has a lot to do with that. So, okay. We've been taking questions from the audience as we've been going. And we're going to kind of round robin back around and see how many we can fit in. We'll start with Minerva.
Oh, okay. So we're starting with me. Hi, I'm back. Okay. Oh, okay. So actually, let me start here. Sonali herself wants to know if you intentionally set out for the new blood, that you cast because of you do have such a familiar crew. If you really went out there looking for new blood, if the diversity we've seen this year is something we can continue to look forward to, and if it was actually like part of intentional world building because everyone's from different regions and very diverse and has various accents and so on. So was that like even a conscious casting effort?
Um, I can tell you that for every project that we do, we try and find new people, whether it be cast or crew, because there are many friends in the world, and you don't know who's your next friend that you're going to be friends with, and somebody that you're going to love and be able to count on, and what they're going to bring to you. So it's gathering this wonderful family together of people that make films. So we consciously and actively pursue new talent to come and work with us, and it's a very, very conscious effort. And we, Kynan is from South Africa, and Jason is from Canada, and I'm here from Utah, and it is stretching our legs and looking for diversity is a little bit tricky in Utah, and we really strive to do it with every show that we have, and it is tricky in Utah. But we really do try. And it's one of those things that is very close to our hearts. And we want people to come and feel involved. And I think one of the best and most wonderful things about fantasy is a genre, and sci-fi for that matter, but especially fantasy. I feel like it's so inclusive of other, or the story is about, this group of people or creatures doesn't get along with this group, but it's very much about like the introduction of new and different things. And so we are constantly looking for new and just wonderful people to add to our family. And I really think we did that this season. We really tried, and we're going to keep trying with all of our future projects. But Sonali's a great example of that, and Medallion Rahimi, and they're such wonderful, wonderful actresses, and their talent is so apparent that it was like, how can we have to have them. They're amazing. We have to have them. So we just love talented people, and we just really strive for new and exciting talent to come and be part of us. So yes, we actively seek new talent, because who doesn't want to make their friend group bigger and their family group bigger?
That's like, I honestly couldn't think of a better answer to get out of that. So I hope everybody loved that one as much as we did. We have a few more. I guess Stacy, how about you go, and then Shay can pick up.
Okay, let's see here. We had quite a few actually, so let's see if we can get a couple of them. I'll probably butcher this name. I'm sorry. Gal considers Utah unusual for filming, but it has great landscapes. So they want to know the pros and cons of that, having that in your backyard, so to speak. They were also curious why the Outpost has multiple fonts and titles, if that's something you know about as well.
Well, the multiple fonts and titles is because CW gets to choose their own font. So whomever is distributing it, they get to choose, how they're going to represent and put the title sequence forth. And we get to have say in that, but they're the ultimate, say in what they want to represent on their channel. So there you go. That's the font thing. And then the first question was about shooting in Utah and how it is here, and what are the drawbacks and the pluses. Is that right?
Yeah, pros and cons, yes.
Pros and cons. Okay, so I think the pros are very, very high. I love shooting in Utah. Obviously, I grew up here, so I'm partial to it. I have traveled all over the world. I've I have filmed 2 movies and the beginning of Outpost in Ireland. I'd love to shoot even more across the world. But Utah, I love Utah. It's so diverse and it's a wonderful environment for shooting. The people here are, the communities here are very conducive to shooting movies, and they're very helpful. And the Utah Film Commission is unbelievably amazing at helping facilitate projects, small projects and large projects alike. They're just a wonderful, wonderful resource and very kind and generous with their time and efforts and how they want to help you. So having a wonderful film commission is actually priceless. It's so beneficial to your production, and just having somebody stand in your corner and help you out when you really need assistance. Also, the landscapes here are extremely diverse. We have red rock and salt flats and crazy deserts that are, just beige, or we have deserts that are red and purple, or, we have Goblin Valley that looks like, lots of movies use it for Mars when they want to film Mars. And there's crazy caves here. We've shot in the lava tubes, which are actually tubes that are cave-like underground that are made out of lava from, millions of years ago. It's an incredibly diverse place. We have snow simultaneously with, 100-degree weather at the bottom of our state. So it's wonderful in that way, and lots of lakes. And so there's so much that you can do here that if you're willing to stretch your legs and get out there and look and do your homework and work with the state, then there's just a myriad of places to shoot, and it's wonderful and super beneficial. I do understand we don't have everything, which is why we went to Ireland. We don't have unbelievable green hills, and we don't have an ocean, and so there are things that we don't have, and sometimes we run across to Europe and try and catch some things there, but Utah's really been good to us, and so we try and be good to Utah with how productive we've been here, and just absolutely spoiled, I feel like, with the landscape and with the people, and all of the facilities that are here as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love the scenery that you guys have in all the movies. It's just perfect. Okay. And let's see. I had another one. Lisa Roloff asked, how often do the actors go off script, and will we ever get to see a blooper or outtakes roll?
I'm not sure if we'll get to ever see a blooper outtakes roll. I'm not totally positive about that. I'm not sure how we would work those things. Maybe through some Instagram or something like that. Maybe maybe our distributors would allow that. I'm not totally sure on that one. And then the first question is, do the actors ever go off script? Sometimes they do, but usually we get our first take and the second take is totally on script, because, you have to be careful about the setups and the payoffs of the script. It's like, somebody says something that all of a sudden you're going to need to know that information for episode 10, or it links to episode 1. So there's a lot of adherence to the script, but, actors are wonderful, wonderful people and creatures, and they will give you beautiful things that you just have to use, because they'll go off script, or they'll do something completely unplanned, and it's absolute genius. And making a project like this, or any film project, is it's a team effort. Not one person can do it, and we have to have those actors, and they bring the life and the heart to anything that you make. So I think we're very spoiled with them, and all of the wonderful script and off script things that they do for us.
That's awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to have Shay read one more, and then we're kind of running over, but we had a surprise guest and a little issue in the middle. So we're going to give one to Shay, and then I'll close us out with a quick round.
Okay.
All right. Angie C wanted to know what a project that you were really excited about that didn't get picked up or just didn't work out.
we don't, if we love a project, we never actually let it go. We kind of just put it on the back burner, and it might pop up somewhere in the future. And, you never know. These are like, all projects are sort of like miracles. I once had a friend tell me, and it's true. So these projects, these little miracles in your life, you never know when they're going to be able to drop or fit back into your life. And I really believe that if you really love something, that it's going to find a place, and you just have to hang on to it. Not every time is the right time for projects. So you keep the hope alive. You just keep pushing forward.
Absolutely. So that was my audience question. I'll let Minerva take it up from here.
Okay. So what I've got is I've got a list of like quick fire, one word answer questions types.
Oh, boy.
So
Okay.
So cats or dogs?
Okay.
Cats or dogs?
Cats or dogs? Dogs. I have 2 dogs, 2 French bulldogs.
Willow or Legend?
Willow.
Tolkien or Martin?
Tolkien.
Anand asked how old you are. Don't blame us.
Anand knows how old I am. I'm 41, and I'm very proud of it.
And he also asked your favorite Justin Bieber quote.
Man, I can't think of it, but it's basically the one where he said, just because something about church and Taco Bell. It's amazingly funny. Just because you go to Taco Bell doesn't mean you're a taco. And he was saying it in reference to going to church. Just because you go to church doesn't mean you're crazy or something. It was. Do you know what? Everybody, go and look up the quote, because it's hilarious. I was laughing for a good 20 minutes. I thought I was gonna die. It was so amazing. So go look it up, everyone.
I'm gonna have to do that. Okay. Now, we are running a little bit over today, so I want to say thanks again for coming to talk to us. We look forward to seeing more of everything from Aerostorm. So expect us to be like poking you, be like, hey, what's the news? What's the news? And you know who to tell about the renewal first, right?
Absolutely.
All right. I think it's about time for everyone to say their goodbyes, but real quick before that, I want to say, thanks for watching, Cult fans. This is our live episode 5. Keep tuning in. We're going to have more guests coming up soon. Koki Falco, we've got Dave, and a few others actually lined out on the way. And probably Adam now. Hey! So, stay tuned, follow, like, subscribe, do all of the things, and keeping, there's only a couple clicks away and you're going to have some of the hottest news. So, and Stacy?
And be sure to check out Order of the Outpost and Outpost Week. And we'll get a preview for the next episode coming up below, so be sure to check on that. And thank you so much, Jennifer, for stopping by.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Shay, you want to say your goodbye too?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming in today. This has been an awesome experience. I apologize for getting derailed earlier. And for our audience, thanks again for watching Cult Fan 5. Keep tuning in. We still have a couple of special guests upcoming. Keep an eye out for those. Follow, like, subscribe, do all the things. More Cult Fandom news is only a few clicks away. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
You're still muted.
Her lips are moving, but I don't